You are not who you think you are. That statement may feel jarring, perhaps even untrue. But the identity you hold so close, the one that whispers your limits to you each morning, is not a fixed monument carved in stone. It is a story, written in pencil. It is a collection of habits, practiced until they became automatic. Most people live their entire lives believing the story is permanent. They mistake the familiar for the inevitable. This is the great illusion that keeps us standing still, waiting for a permission slip that will never arrive. The truth is much simpler and far more powerful. You are not stuck. You are simply in a state of repetition. That repetition feels like solid ground beneath your feet. It feels like safety. We all crave this feeling. The human mind is a masterful architect of the known. It builds walls around your current reality, not to trap you, but to protect you from the perceived dangers of the unknown world outside. It tells you that the life you have is the only one you can manage. It warns that any attempt to scale those walls will end in failure and disappointment. So you stay inside, walking the same well-worn paths day after day, year after year. The world outside the walls may hold everything you have ever wanted, but the fear of the journey keeps the gate locked from the inside. The gap between wanting to change and actually changing is where most lives are lost. Not in a dramatic, sudden end, but in a slow, quiet fading of potential. It is the space where dreams go to die, where aspirations become quiet regrets whispered only to ourselves in the dead of night. We say we want more. We want better. We want different. But the wanting is not the engine of change. It is merely the spark. Without the fuel of action and the machinery of a clear plan, that spark simply goes out, leaving us in the familiar darkness, wondering why nothing ever moves forward for us. It is not about willpower. It is not about some missing character trait. It is about understanding the quiet mechanics of the mind that hold you in place. We will explore 3 powerful, invisible forces that keep you anchored to your past. These are not your enemies. They are ancient survival mechanisms that, in the modern world, often work against your growth. By seeing them clearly, by calling them by their true names, you can begin to dismantle their power. You can start the process of becoming the person you were meant to be, not today by magic, but by taking one deliberate, conscious step. The second reason you stay stuck is because the personal story you tell yourself is more powerful than any objective fact. We believe we are rational beings, driven by logic and evidence. This is not true. We are narrative beings, driven by the stories we construct about who we are, what we are capable of, how the world works. These stories form the deep, invisible script that directs our lives. When you say, "I am just not a morning person, I have always been bad with money," you are not just stating an observation. You are writing a rule. You are casting a spell upon yourself, and your mind will work tirelessly to make it true. Imagine the crushing density of a vast city. Millions of people rush past one another, each one wrapped in their own story, as if it were a coat. One person's coat is labeled, "I am an anxious person. I can't be trusted. I will never be successful." These coats are not just worn, they are lived. The mind acts as a relentless filter, seeking and finding evidence to support the story. If you believe you are unlovable, you will interpret a neutral comment as rejection. If you believe you are unlucky, you will see every minor setback as proof of a cosmic curse. Your story becomes your reality. This is why simple affirmations often fail. Merely saying, "I am confident," when your core story is, "I am a failure," creates a conflict your brain cannot resolve. The old story is stronger because it is reinforced by years of habit and perceived evidence. To change, you must not just add a new line to the script. You must begin a deliberate and patient edit of the old one. You must start by challenging the foundational beliefs. Instead of fighting the old story, you introduce a smaller, more believable one. You do not jump from "I am a failure" to "I am a success." You start with "I am learning from my mistakes." This process is about becoming the conscious author of your own life. It begins with listening to the sentences you repeat to yourself throughout the day. Write them down. See them for what they are, not facts, but habits of thought. Then choose one, just one, and write a new, better sentence to replace it. A sentence that is believable, kind, and forward-looking. I am not organized. I am learning to create order in one small area of my life. Then you must act in a way that makes that new sentence true. This is how you begin to rewrite the deep narrative that has been holding you in place. The third reason change falters is because we mistake a destination for a path. We declare our intentions with great passion and conviction. I will get in shape. I will write a book. I will start my own business. These are beautiful promises, but they are not plans. They are wishes. They are like standing at the base of a great mountain and simply promising you will reach the summit. Without a map, without a marked trail, that promise is empty. The sheer scale of the goal becomes overwhelming, and the first moment of resistance or confusion will send you right back to the bottom. Lasting change requires a map. A proper map does not just show the destination, it shows the very next step. It breaks the overwhelming goal into a series of small, manageable, and specific actions. I will get in shape is a wish. I will walk around the block for 15 minutes after dinner on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday this week is a map for the first mile of the journey. The brain, which recoils from ambiguity, can understand this. It can execute this. It is a clear instruction, not a vague hope. The power is not in the grandeur of the ambition, but in the clarity of the immediate action. Think of a dense, ancient forest. From the edge, it looks impenetrable, a solid wall of green. It would be foolish to simply declare you will walk through it. But if you find a trail, even a narrow one, the journey becomes possible. The trail does not ask you to conquer the entire forest at once. It only asks you to take the next step. And then the next. And the one after that. Each step is simple, achievable, and repeatable. Now, let us imagine these three powerful forces working together in concert inside of you. First, the deep instinctual pull of comfort, disguised as safety, urges you to remain exactly where you are. It whispers that any change is a risk, that the familiar pain is better than the unknown. It anchors you to the present moment, making any forward movement feel like a dangerous act of rebellion against your own well-being. This force alone is enough to keep most people from ever trying something new in a meaningful way. It is the gravity of your old life. Second, layered on top of this is the story you tell yourself. This narrative, crafted over years, confirms the warnings of your comfort-seeking brain. If your story is, "I never finish what I start," then the moment you feel the discomfort of a new challenge, your story will say, "See? This is the part where you quit. This is who you are." The story provides the justification for retreating back to safety. It transforms the instinctual fear into a rationalized identity, making it feel not like a choice, but like an immutable fact of your character. The cage of comfort now has a lock, and the story is the key. Finally, you have no map to guide you out. This is the perfect storm of stagnation. This is the anatomy of a stuck life. Understanding these three forces, the illusion of safety, the power of narrative, and the need for a map, demystifies the process. It is not some vague personal failing. It is a system, and any system can be understood, redesigned, and changed, one component at a time. The power to do so is already within you. So, what is the solution? It is not a grand, sweeping gesture. It is not a dramatic, overnight transformation. The solution is as quiet and as humble as the problem itself. You must begin with one small, deliberate action, one move you can control and repeat. The goal isn't to solve everything, it's to prove movement is possible. Introduce a tiny crack in the foundation of the old system. First, break the lie that comfort is safety with one small, manageable risk. Do one thing today that feels a little uncomfortable. Take a different route on your walk. Speak up for 30 seconds in a meeting. Order something new from a menu without overthinking. Give your brain a new piece of data. Risk doesn't always mean catastrophe. A small venture into the unknown weakens fear and builds a tiny kernel of confidence. It teaches your nervous system you can handle a little uncertainty. Second, Begin rewriting your story. Choose one limiting sentence and craft a believable alternative. Example, old line, I am terrible at saving money. New believable line, I am learning to be more conscious of my spending. Say it every morning, write it down, then take one small aligned action. Put $1 into a savings jar. Just one. These 3 small actions, a tiny risk, a new sentence, a simple map, may seem insignificant. You may feel they are not enough to create the profound change you desire. That thought, that feeling of doubt, is the old system fighting back. It is the voice of comfort, the echo of the old story telling you that small steps are pointless. Do not listen. The first step on a 1,000-mile journey is not meant to cover 1,000 miles. It is meant to prove that you can move. It is the act that breaks the inertia. It is the most important step of all. Change is not an event. It is a process. It is not a thunderbolt from the heavens that remakes you in an instant. It is the accumulation of 1,000 quiet choices, 1,000 small acts of courage, performed day after day. The daily decision to take the slightly uncomfortable path. The daily practice of telling yourself a better story. The daily discipline of following your simple map, even when you do not feel motivated. Over time, these small, consistent actions compound. They build upon one another, creating momentum that becomes unstoppable. Most people will wait their entire lives for the perfect moment to change. They wait for a surge of inspiration, for their fear to disappear, for a guarantee of success. They will wait forever. The people who truly transform their lives are not the ones who wait. They are the ones who act.